Composed in 1935, Reminiscing in Tempo may well be considered Ellington's most advanced work at the time, and it exemplifies how rapidly he was expanding his musical conception. Duke's creative output was affected by his mother's death, and Reminiscing in Tempo was the first sign that he was coming out of his despair. The personnel in the Ellington Orchestra had changed and expanded. The work was recorded 4 times between September 1935 and December 1948. It is a 12-minute work which was originally issued on both sides of 2 10-inch records. Following its first release, it was met with a barrage of journalistic criticism, since unlike much of Ellington's music of this period, it was not as specifically targeted for commercial appeal. It was apparently a bit advanced for general public taste. Spike Hughes, a critic and Ellington admirer from England, called the work a long and rambling monstrosity that is as dull as it is pretentious and meaningless. The jazz critic John Hammond wrote in a 1935 issue of Downbeat, consequently, Ellington's music has become vapid and without the slightest semblance of guts. His newer stuff bears superficial resemblance to Debussy and Delius without any of the peculiar vitality that used to pervade his work. The Duke is afraid even to think about himself, his struggles, and his disappointments, and that is why his Reminiscing is so formless and shallow a piece of music. Why did the critics react so harshly towards the work? Perhaps its passive mood and length made it difficult to sustain interest for them as listeners, or perhaps, as Gunther Schuller noted, the work annoyed and confused those who were hopping onto the new swing bandwagon, whereas at the same time, most serious composers were still unaware of Ellington, and a 13-minute tone poem that was not in the acceptable 12-tone or neoclassical styles of the period was not apt to arouse much attention among the classical intelligentsia.